for the awarding of the Medicare 24 tender from Mr. Matlala?
No.
Did you ever receive a bribe from anyone in respect of the same purpose?
No.
Did you ever get an instruction from your superior
No.
that against all odds, Medicare 24 must be given that tender?
No.
Are you aware of the implications if found to have deliberately misled Parliament, the legal implications of that?
Correct, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Let's go to your paragraph 19 of your statement. You make mention that the end user is actually the one who nominates those who must serve in the bid specification committee. So is there a criteria that defines how the end user, or what criteria must the end user use to nominate those particular individuals, or is just subjective from that particular end user?
Honorable Chair, the nomination criteria for members to serve in the bid specification and bid evaluation is that they should be technically knowledgeable with regards to the procurement that is being embarked upon.
That's the only criteria?
That's
knowledgeable and credible,
yes,
in terms of the procurement policy?
The reason why we appoint a chairperson and the facilitators from a procurement environment is so that they can bridge the gap with regards to the procurement knowledge.
Do you confirm that the people who served in respect of this particular tender, the people who served in the bid specification committee, are knowledgeable and credible?
The members are operating in that space, and they are section heads in that space. They ought to have been knowledgeable with regards to the services that are required with regards to this. What made it easier for me with regards to this one, the section heads at the level of Major General who manage the section and who know exactly what needs to be delivered were part of the bid specification as nominated.
Are they credible?
There is no reason for me to doubt their credibility at that time.
Are the people serving in the bid evaluation committee credible and knowledgeable?
Knowledgeable, I would say yes. Credible,
you don't know?
I don't know. I do not have a measure.
Are you not the one who's supposed to agree on the nominations of individuals to the BC?
I am.
So how do you not know if they are credible? If the policy instructs you to appoint people who are credible in the BC, how do you not know whether those people that would have been appointed in the BC are credible? What criteria was used? If you say the criteria is credible and knowledgeable.
We are using quite a number of things in our in the policing environment. One of the things that probably was used by the end user to nominate this was to look at their discipline.
No, let's leave the end user now.
Yeah.
The end user is already nominated.
Yes.
The ball is in your court.
Yeah.
You are the final arbiter of who must serve in the BC. Then are you confirming before Parliament that the people you would have agreed that they must be appointed to the BC are credible?
The criteria used is knowledge, not credibility. It is expected of every member of the South African Police Service to be credible in their dealings.
General Fani, it's towards the end of the week for us to fight. It's in your statement. You say in your statement, the procurement policy instructs you or obligates you to appoint credible and knowledgeable people. So don't dismiss credible now.
Sure.
It's too late for you to dismiss credible now, because you have done that statement under oath.
Yes.
Now, I'm saying, are you saying, confirming before Parliament, that the people who served in the bid evaluation committee are credible? You said they are knowledgeable. We have taken that.
Sure.
Are they credible?
I cannot vouch on credibility.
Okay, so you appointed people in the BC that you can vouch their credibility?
Correct, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. What does both the preliminary and the final internal audit results suggest about the credibility and the knowledgeability of those people?
It only single out the facilitator. It's very silent on the rest of the BC
Okay.
members.
That's fine. You say there are moments where you appoint consultants to assist the bid evaluation committee.
Ever since I got into the South African Police Service, we have not.
No, I'm saying, you say
Yes,
in your
in
statement.
the policy, yes.
In the policy says
Yes.
there are moments where you have to reinforce the BEC with consultants.
Yes.
So, in your own knowledge or the information you have received, has this been done before or when you were there? How much has it costed? Because as I'm saying it, it's what criminal lawyers would call a trial within a trial. So you have got a procurement within a procurement process. You are undergoing a procurement process for another item. Now you have to procure the services of the consultants to assist the procurement of this item. So that's why I'm terming it, criminal lawyers call it a trial within a trial. This looks like a procurement within a procurement.
In the 3.5 years of me being in South African Police Service, I have not appointed consultants to do our procurement. We have only, in line with the agreements we have with CETA, activated some of the procurement in line with the CETA Act with CETA, and we have, in terms of knowledge of AMSCO, have asked them to do some of the procurement of some of the ammunition and firearm procurement. But in terms of sourcing services of consultant outside, we have not, in as far as I have been in South African Police Service.
Paragraph 22, you mentioned that drafting specification, which I agree with you, drafting specification of a tender, in particular of this nature, is too much technical because it's a healthcare related tender. It requires a technical skill. So, do you have an internal technical skill within the specification? Did you have, in respect of this tender, I don't want to generalize, did you have an internal technical skill in your bid specification committee that has led to the awarding of this tender?
The appointed bid specification committee have the technical skills required.
Okay. So all the specification processes that which you table on paragraph 24.3 have been followed. Paragraph 24.3.
I'm going through that.
You detail there a lot of issues in relation to the specification process and all that. So in respect of this tender, was all that process followed in due course? And is the audit report in actual agreement with that?
All of them have been looked at, and they are there in the evaluation report. But there has been an audit finding on 24.3.1. Yeah, only on 24.3.1.
So there is only one aspect where the internal audit finding says this one was not adhered to.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe it will take us back to the credibility of your PEC members. Ne? Maybe we'll go there later. Since your appointment in the supply chain management unit, have you ever found officials colluding with service providers for purposes of awarding tenders?
No.
Have you ever found consultants, even if prior your arrival, ever been consultants who have been found to have colluded with service providers and bribe service providers to gain tenders, or most importantly, consultants colluding with service providers to give them information in respect of the specification, the budget, and all the stuff?
There's only one matter that I can recall where we have found that the suppliers on the panel had prior knowledge of the budget. And that's a recent matter that was highlighted to me by the acting head of DPCI. And we have dealt with that matter. We are dealing with that matter, rather.
It's one incident.
That's the only incident that I can recall.
At what stage is it now? How are you dealing with the matter, and at what stage is it now?
We have advised the end user. It was a few days prior to my departure. I have advised in writing the end user on the process that needs to be followed. They must report the case to SAPS, to a police station rather, and have a case number, and then they must then go through a process of making sure that they restrict the supplier if the supplier is found wanting through the investigation that they need to have.
When are you going back to office?
I will be back on the 12th of December.
This year?
I probably would be back in office in January.
Okay. Will you be able to formulate a written report in respect only of this aspect of this process? To update the committee on the detail of what you have found and the consequence management steps that you are taking?
I have access to my emails. I'll prompt the Lieutenant General in that space to furnish me with what happened in that space in my absence, and then I will finish that report. I would request the committee to send us a request, but I have noted.
You can whisper to that man on your right when you are done. It's going to give you the details. Okay, who is responsible on putting together the procurement plan that you regularly submit to the National Treasury?
The ultimate responsibility is mine. The needs are compiled by the end users. The demand manager or the component head demand puts together the plan. The process within the SAPS is that we present the plan to the National Commissioner, who is the accounting officer, for his sign-off, and he does that, and we send it to the National Treasury for consideration.
No consultants?
No, we do it ourselves.
Do the items you submit in your procurement plan contain the specification of the item you are to procure and the cost, therefore?
We have cost estimates.
Cost estimates, yeah.
And we've got a service and a description of a service, not the specification.
Not the specification?
No.
Okay. Chair, I'm not sure if News 24 is here. Last week they issued an article. This article suggests that Mr. Ket Vosumz Matlala leased or rented clinics or healthcare facilities from the SAPS 6 months before he was awarded the 360 million rands contract. Are you aware of that?
The article is incorrect. The rental of facilities is not done by SAPS. It's done by Public Works. Vosimuziket Matlala rented the facilities at Public Works.
Okay. But this is the crux of the issue. Yeah. I get your point, and we did not say SAPS.
No.
This is the crux of the issue. The issue is there are healthcare facilities that are rendered by Mr. Matlala 6 months before getting the healthcare tender from SAPS. Is that report accurate? Is that report accurate that Mr. Matlala was given a lease for the use of healthcare facilities in the state before he was actually awarded a 360 million tender, 6 months before that? Is the report accurate?
That report is accurate.
Okay. They call him a tender prophet. They call him a tender prophet because only a prophet would have known that in the next 6 months, a tender requiring these same facilities would be awarded to me. Now, this actually raises a serious concern in the eye of the public, because it suggests that 6 months before the SAPS undertook the process to award the tender, Mr. Matlala knew. As a result, he was preparing to work in respect of that tender. In the eye of the public, as we talk, me and you now.
Correct. I must put it on record, as I have indicated, Chair, we had no knowledge as SAPS how and the dealings or how Mr. Matlala acquired the facility at Public Works. All we know is that Public Works had indicated to us that we must vacate the facilities.
Because Mr. Matlala is coming.
They just informed us that there is a supplier appointed. And we refused to vacate the facilities because we have a need for the facilities. Under no circumstances was SAPS involved in the facilitation of the acquisition of that facility. From my perspective, my department under General Stole is responsible for the lease. General Stole had no knowledge of that, and we have advised the National Commissioner accordingly. And National Commissioner has written to Public Works on numerous occasions indicating to them that we will not vacate that facility, and that's the position that we are still holding even
So you were told to vacate the premises or the facilities because the great prophet, Pastor Matlala, is coming.
We were told to vacate because a supplier has signed
So the supplier was not named?
No.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. Did this process undergo quality assurance? And what was the results thereof?
I'm not sure which process, sir.
The entire
Honorable
process of appointment from BC, the procurement process, was it quality assured?
I have indicated the quality measures that we have in the process. I have indicated that the bid spec has a quality assurance that sits. I have indicated that there's a level of quality assurance, pre-tender quality assurance. I have indicated post-tender closing. And prior to tabling at BC, there's 2 levels of quality assurance that takes place there. And we have, futuristically, there's probity now, but there are quality assurance processes that we have embedded in the process.
Were there any procurement procedures that were flouted in awarding the tender?
The internal audit has picked up that the suppliers that should have not advanced to the next level through the evaluation process have been advanced. Yes, the process
has there been a consequence management effected to those found to be responsible for that?
I have indicated that the National Commissioner is waiting for the forensic investigation, and I think I preempt that his understanding is that he needs to have a holistic picture of who else was involved in the process so that we can have everybody going through the disciplinary process at once and not to have others left out of the process. And yes, in terms of the framework published by National Treasury, anyone that is found to have led a tender into irregularities, consequence management must be initiated and concluded.
Does the internal audit report say anything about your BEC people? Does it say anything about flouting or irregular process about your BEC people? I hear you are the custodian. Someone was here.
Of the BEC?
Someone was here.
Yes.
Who said, he had spectacles as well. It said, I'm the custodian of all dockets in the country.
Yeah.
So when now you are a custodian of all the BEC members. So are there any BEC members who would have been fingered in these procurement irregularities by the internal audit report?
No, internal audit report is silent in terms of who, but they have singled out the facilitator, and the facilitator can only be one person, but they have not mentioned the name. But they have indicated that the BEC and BAC, and I have responded to the evidence leader that consequence management would have to take place, and each member would then have to go and account.
You chair the BAC.
Yes, I do.
What measures do you take to ensure that every procurement process has been followed?
I do have the procurement. What I normally would do is to make sure that the processes pertaining to procurement process have been followed. I do make sure of that before the tender is advertised.
Just pause there. You'll continue. So you check if procurement processes were followed. Now let's take this part. We're going to proceed. Now, internal audit say, no, in fact, there are procurement processes that were flouted. In a process where now you gave a thumbs up as the chair of the BAC. Do you think that consequence management must start with you? How would you have missed this great central thinking around any procurement process, that at least the process must be done? Then discussing who's given the tender is a different discussion, but the due process must be followed. Now, you preside over a tender that is given to someone with flouted procurement processes. What must SAPS do to you?
Honorable Chair, I have indicated that in terms of the documentation that was provided to us and the reasons that were cited in the report, we have no reason not to believe the information that was provided to us. Honorable Chair, I've also indicated that we have interrogated the report jointly as the Bid Adjudication Committee, and we found nothing untowards what was presented to us. I must indicate at this present moment that, and I think I have also indicated, that should there be any criminality that is built into the evaluation that took place, we might not be in the position to pick that in the procurement process, and that's where we are lacking, and we need to be in the position to have tools to be able to detect some of the criminality that may have been evident in the process. Passing a supplier that does not qualify for a criteria is criminality, and that should be condemned.
Okay. So you take the BEC report as it is, without verification, and adjudicate on the basis of what you affirmed as the BEC.
I have indicated, Honorable Chair, that the report was complete. What maybe we need to do, as I've indicated, in order to have seamless processes that happens at the Bid Adjudication Committee, was to include another level that will give us that verification. The documents that we receive are voluminous. We are unable to go to each document and verify every information that is in the documents. I have indicated, Honorable Chair, that it is impractical for Bid Adjudication Committee to go through each document that is provided. If that is the expectation of the committee, the Bid Adjudication Committee will have to be a standing committee, and their sole responsibility would be to do that. However, if there are any things that are presented in the document and they are untowards, Bid Adjudication Committee has a responsibility to do that. I have also demonstrated that we have, in some instances, I've demonstrated in the minutes where we have looked at and there were things that were missing and we went back and requested that information. In this instance, the Bid Adjudication Committee members felt that they had sufficient information to adjudicate an award.
Do you agree with me that a U tender process or procurement process can be done, concluded, and awarded within a space of 2 weeks after the closure of the advert?
In a normal environment, yes, the work of SAPS is of such a nature that the members of the bid evaluation committees might not be readily available to evaluate within a short space of time. But a normal tender process, 2-3 days, you can conclude the evaluation depending on the magnitude of the tender. But the availability of members of the bid evaluation committee vis-a-vis their responsibilities in the operational environment is the one that prolongs the process. It's one of the reasons that prolongs the process.
No, I was asking that because I don't understand why this rush to an extent that we even forget to follow the due process. The last issue is, are you aware of the referral of the tender to IDEC?
No.
Do you know that you don't know that the tender has been referred to IDEC for forensic audit?
I'm aware that it is referred to the forensic auditors, but whether that the forensic auditors are IDEC, I don't know, but it could be.
Are you confident that that forensic audit result will not bring your name to have
I'm confident.
been at the wrong side of law?
I'm very confident.
Thank you very much. No further questions, Your Worship.
We'll pass the microphone.